Something strange is happening with Ethereum. Tom Lee, one of the Wall Street's most famous strategists, just turned his company into the largest Ethereum holder on the planet. Tom Lee, a well-known Wall Street strategist, just pulled off a massive move. His company, BitMine, now holds 1.1 million Ethereum. That's nearly worth $5 billion. Why? Tom Lee's not stopping here. He wants to raise another $20 billion to buy more Ethereum. If you don't know who Tom Lee is, he's the co-founder of Fundstrat. He's famous for making bold calls on markets.
Well, Bitcoin has been 1 month ahead of the S&P at every step this year. That means that in this month, I think the S&P is going to have a breakaway move to the upside, towards 6,600.
But now he's also the chairman of BitMine. Company started as a Bitcoin mining play, but has transformed into an Ethereum treasury. In just a few months, BitMine has built the biggest Ethereum treasury in the world. Earlier this August, they scooped up $130 million worth of Ethereum during a crash, raising their holdings to over 1.17 million coins. And the bigger plan filed to raise another $20 billion through stock issuance. BitMine is playing the version of Strategy's Bitcoin playbook. So you guys are asking, so why Ethereum? Tom Lee says Ethereum is entering a true scarcity. With supply shrinking and big corporate buys, scarcity drives demand. The more they buy, the higher it goes. The more demand increases. Yield. Unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum proof of stake, that means BitMine can earn passive income around 3% annually by just staking their holdings. Ethereum becomes not just an asset, but an income generator. The more you stake, the more dividends/passive income you make. Institutional adoption. From tokenized assets to stablecoins, Ethereum is powerful real-world financial product. Lee calls Ethereum a micro trade for the next decade. Undervalued versus gold. Right now, less than 10% of fund managers hold crypto, compared to nearly 50% of gold. This is the exact playbook that made MicroStrategy the ultimate Bitcoin treasury. But Ethereum adds another layer: utility plus yield. Tom Lee isn't just betting on price. He's betting on Ethereum's becoming a backbone of digital economy. Long-term investing, not only to appreciate price of Ethereum, but make passive through staking. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Billionaire Mike Novogratz warned that the crypto treasury craze may already be peaking. Raising billions to buy Ethereum could backfire if market cools off. But Tom Lee is clearly playing the long game. That's another corner, almost 5% of the whole Ethereum supply. So why is Tom Lee risking billions on Ethereum? What does he see that others don't? Remember when Michael Saylor and Strategy started buying Bitcoin in 2020? People laughed, called it reckless, and said it wouldn't last. You had Chase CEO clown people about buying Bitcoin. Fast forward, MicroStrategy's Bitcoin just turned into a multi-billion-dollar play and set their stock skyrocketing in market cap. But Tom Lee is trying to do the same thing with Ethereum. But unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum offers staking yield and a smart contract utility. That gives the strategy extra layer of value. Not only is it making a passive income, but it's also appreciating in price. As you see, that's way undervalued compared to Bitcoin. And the Ethereum staking yield, while attractive, isn't risk-free. It depends on the network participation and validator dynamics. So yes, there's real risk here that he is taking on putting billions into the strategy. Let's all zoom out and see the bigger picture. Corporate treasuries buying Ethereum marks a new phase of adoption. Think about MicroStrategy normalized the idea of public company holding Bitcoin. Now, Tom Lee and BitMine are trying to realize holding Ethereum. If they succeed, this could offset a wave of companies adding Ethereum to their balance sheets, not just for speculation, but for yield and exposure of the Web3. Tom Lee even said Ethereum could be a backbone of the digital economy for the next decade. That's a bold claim, but it's consistent with where you're seeing banks tokenizing assets, stablecoins moving billions in value, and Ethereum becoming the sentimental layer of digital freelance. With Ethereum dropping 66%, we know Ethereum is a risky asset, does provide a huge potential of reward once held long term. When we bought the dip down there in March this year, Ethereum is showing us that it has a huge rally in whenever it comes to being short in supply and demand. And we're seeing Ethereum touching 4,400 as a low that it hit 1,383 earlier. We're also seeing more demand for cryptocurrency and stablecoins. And we want to pay attention to Ethereum's price as it pushes past 5,000 in August and September. Ethereum is going to be continue being held up by these companies and retail investors. For my years investing and watching Tom Lee doesn't miss. There's people like Jim Cramer and these other investors that are known giving out market plays, but generally, every time I see Tom Lee's understanding of investing, he actually has a pretty decent way of buying and picking assets. And I see his thinking on Ethereum, but this one is going to take a little bit more time than people who want to be invested and be rich tomorrow. Ethereum is playing the long-term game, and the more it gets instituted by IBM, Microsoft, and these fortune tech companies start using the technology, we're going to see some huge swings in Ethereum's price. I know that Tom Lee would make a good revenue or investment with this purchase that he's buying with this 1 million supply of Ethereum. So he's gonna definitely profit with a good about couple billions long term. This might just be his biggest investment that he made with this digital technology. And if I would be involved in this investment, I would continue matching what Tom Lee's doing, as well as thinking as an investor from not only profiting from the company going up over time and appreciating, but also making passive incomes from it. This makes us think about there's multiple ways to make income in investing or stocks or cryptos, and not just one way. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Like Tom Lee, you got to think outside the box, and that's when you get a clear picture of an investor and what your play is about to be, or your plan is. I honestly don't see a better play than Ethereum right now. Do we see that Bitcoin is already mainstream? A lot of people done picked up Bitcoin and started a strategy of that, and we've seen Bitcoin hits its peak, but we still have more to go with Bitcoin. But why not just start adapting to a new layer of crypto that's behind Bitcoin and start accumulating and seeing the benefits of Ethereum as well as differences from Bitcoin, and just take advantage of it. Just try to grab as much as that one, because we're seeing the hype for another one is already ran up. We need to start continuing going back to the second layer that came behind it, and that really created more adaptation towards it and flexibility. That's what Tom Lee done, and then we starting to see that more people are looking at Ethereum than that's chasing Bitcoin. And they can take a lot of advantage of this, as Ethereum is at a low right now, around $4,000, and you can get way more of it. And the more money that it moves up in value, the more you can move and make more money. Let me guys know what you think about this strategy and what Tom Lee and how he's seeing this investment plan play out with Ethereum and putting up billions of dollars into his investment. Are you guys buying Ethereum? Are you staking Ethereum? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you guys comment below. You share the video, so on if you want to see prosper in life. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. We out.